I'm Eric Erb, and this is The Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com and find me on Twitter, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. And of course, here on Anchor.fm, The Eric Erb Show Live. Anchor lets you have a free podcast for everybody that wants to try out podcasting. Anchor allows you to be able to make your free and very own podcast and supplies you all the very tools you need. Go to Anchor.fm. That's Anchor.fm. You need to start your own free podcast. All right, turning to the news today, I see via Axios News about 7 hours ago, they're coming out with a story in Axios. The coronavirus is becoming a global economic threat. Why it matters, China, which of course, I don't know if you folks know, unless you guys have been under a rock your whole entire life, China is now like the epicenter for the virus. And China also is the world's top nation, the largest commodity buyer in the world. They're the number one partner of many of the world's biggest economies, including Germany, Japan, and even here in the United States. Both are suffering already from anemic growth because the virus has gripped just about all of China. It's spread all throughout, just besides Wuhan province. It's spread all over the place in China. Last reports as of last night, China had locked down 20 cities and over 56 million people. A lot of the economists are worried about the fallout that could stymie China's economy and potentially cutting its growth off by tens of millions of dollars. Because, let's face it, here in the United States, we've been chugging along for years and years and years, decades and decades and decades. We were the number one economy. Well, now everybody's buying this cheap items and cheap goods and everything from China. Most of them, I think, personally are junk, to be honest with you. But the economy here in the United States, at least under Trump, is doing fairly well. But before that, the economy wasn't doing so good. The economy was kind of in the tank. And it's been years and years and years. The American economy here in the United States, the GDP, just kind of meandered through life, ho-hum, and that type of thing. Well, now we're starting to slowly see an economic boom in the United States. China is just the opposite with this coronavirus hitting. Now China's economy is in danger of going into the tank. Europe and Asia and also, America is going to suffer if the Chinese economy doesn't pick up and they don't get this coronavirus in check right away. The virus begins to mutate, so rapidly it becomes increasingly difficult to find a cure. And I know that they're all around the world, including in Hong Kong over there by them, right across the water in Hong Kong. A lot of scientists are experimenting. They're trying to come up with a cure desperately. But again, a cure isn't going to be out there, folks, for at least the next 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year. So that's what they're not telling everybody around the world. They're afraid. They don't want to tell people. It's just a joke. It's something that they don't want to start a globalized pandemic. And I've heard all the stories from the news. They've already started this is a friggin' pandemic. I mean, what the hell do you think it is? Of course it's a pandemic, but the news media, the WHO, World Health Organizations, and the media in China, they're silencing people. Last I read 3 or 4 days ago, if you mention anything about the virus on social media, they could imprison you up to 7 years. I mean, just crazy, crazy crap. I don't know what you think. All I can say is God help us all. This is something to take very seriously. I know I've done a lot of podcasts and a lot of coverage on this issue the coronavirus. But you know something, folks? It's just not going away. I mean, even the WHO declares it a pandemic now that'll have a depressing effect on global economy, and that'll put certain limitations on commerce and trade and the ability for countries to trade, to import-export, for those people out there that don't really know or understand how economies work. Somebody manufactures something and they export it. And let's say we're exporting XYZ parts or something to China. Well, in that, China's going to pay us for exporting our parts. Of course, we have to ship them over there, but then China's paying us millions of dollars to receive those parts, whether they be for a car or whether they be for electrical use or whatever. And the same thing goes over here. In order to receive all of China's wonderful products, that's a joke, actually junk, we have to pay China millions of billions of billions of trillions of dollars to receive all this plastic and all this junk that they stuff down our throats here in the United States via the big Walmart stores. It's in every store, Walmart, Target, all the big retail stores. You can't even go to a local pharmacy like at Walgreens or CVS, and you see everything. Everything's made by China. So let me know what you think. This definitely is going to stymie the economy, global trade all the way around the world, because China is one of the biggest trade partners globally around the world. Nobody can debate me on that issue. And it already is going to start to have a staggering effect. And then, of course, President Trump and President Xi have had a trade war going back and forth. We've had a trade war with China for quite a while. So none of this is going to work out good. So let's hope and pray that they come up with a cure in the next 3 to 6 months. The sooner the better. And I hope and pray millions of people don't have to die. This is Eric Erb from the Eric Erb Show Live, Anchor.fm, the Eric Erb Show. Or you can find me online at theericerbshow.com or on Twitter, twitter.com/the Eric Erb Show. If you like the program, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Why not give a couple bucks and help keep this program alive and help fund this program so we can stay on the air and keep this program going and alive. This is Eric Erb from the Eric Erb Show Live, signing off.